A summit that aims to transform education for children in up to 90 lower-income countries and territories is underway in London. The Global Education Summit is being co-hosted by the UK and Kenya, with organisers saying it's an opportunity for world leaders to come together and get 88 more children into school. For more, we join now our correspondent in London, Makin-Isherwood. Laura, very good evening to you. So let's talk about this figure, that figure of how much is it? 88 million, is it?
Yes, so 88 million children the organisers of this summit hope to help. It's the start of a fundraising initiative, essentially, to raise around $5 billion over the next 5 years to try to push children that have been deemed vulnerable or perhaps have come out of school during the pandemic back into school. It's the start of 2 days of discussion taking place here in London. And today things kicked off virtually with people sort of setting the agenda, looking at subjects such as inequality when it comes to education, and also specifically the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. It is estimated that around 20 million girls specifically may no longer be in school at the moment, or perhaps might fall out of education completely because of a result of the pandemic, because schools may have closed. And so organisers are saying that this is a real opportunity for countries to come together and to come up with a kind of plan and commitment to try to turn that around. Tomorrow is the big event when everybody is meeting in person, and the organisers are hoping that countries will come together and make formal financial pledges to support this plan.
So as you mentioned, tomorrow is a big day. Let's talk about some of the very important persons or champions that are expected to arrive. Who is likely to attend?
Well, obviously this is taking place in London, and the UK's Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab will be there in person. Kenya's Foreign Affairs Minister as well is also expected to be there, as well as representatives from a number of African countries, including Ghana, Kenya, Malawi, Nigeria and Togo. And there's also going to be an appearance from internationally renowned campaigner Malala Yousafzai. She, of course, has been at the real front of pushing for equality for girls and making sure that they can access education. She'll be there basically hosting and moderating a panel discussion about this topic. And of course, for the Prime Minister here, Boris Johnson, we know that education is a big subject, high on his agenda at least. And so these pledges that are made here at this education summit will be building on promises that came from the G7 summit when leaders met in Cornwall here in the UK just a couple of months ago. Then he said that the summit was approving plans to get 40 million girls back into school and to ensure that they remain in school and don't drop out early. Of course, this is a big push from multiple nations now, really recognising that there are issues with equality when it comes to educating children, and hopefully this is momentum that will bring about some change.
And just very quickly, we know that announcement on donating millions of vaccines to developing nations was first made in the UK during the last major summit of world leaders. So now I believe 9 million vaccines around the world will be donated this week to these nations who urgently need them. Just give us a few details. When will that be happening?
Yeah, well, the first of those 9 million vaccines from the United Kingdom are going to be delivered this week, we hear. So 4 million are going to that COVAX scheme, so going to countries that don't have easy access to vaccines at the moment. And the real push across the globe from developed nations and those G7 nations particularly that met in Cornwall has been to try to improve access to those nations that don't have access to it at the moment. And we know that 817,000 vaccines are going to be delivered from the United Kingdom to Kenya specifically. Other nations have been listed as being recipients, including Indonesia, Vietnam and Thailand. Others will be given or announced, and details given on those in due course. They will be the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, the vaccine that is developed here in the United Kingdom, and they will be branded as a UK vaccine as well. This, of course, comes after the UK has had its own vaccine programme rolling out really successfully, really quickly. More than 37 million people here now are fully vaccinated, having had 2 doses doses of vaccine. And so the Health Secretary Sajid Javid says that now it is an option for the United Kingdom to donate the surplus to other nations. He said that the UK is one of the largest donors to COVAX, and this donation is part of our pledge to send 100 million vaccines to some of the world's poorest countries.
Thank you, Laura. UK correspondent Laura Makin-Isherwood speaking to us from London.